Hi, this is Julie with the Time and Space Chronicles, saving you time by telling you about the best spaces. This is my first video. I'm hoping to start bringing you regular videos on traveling, itineraries, and all of that. So I hope you join me. I am a certified travel advisor, so if you're not interested in travel planning, you can always look in the description and I'd be happy to plan your travels for you. Today, I'm going to be talking about 14 great activities to do in the Seattle area. Some of these you'll already know, and I hope some of these are hidden gems that you don't know about. So, number 14, the waterfront and the Great Wheel. So, Seattle has a great walkable waterfront with stores and things to do. It's very touristy. There's the Great Wheel. It's a little expensive for how much time you spend on it, but you do get a great view. So, if you don't mind the money, it might be something interesting for you to do. If you do want to save some money, this might not be the option. There are a lot of great places to get beautiful views in Seattle. I'm not sure the Great Wheel is the best, but it is one of the options. And the waterfront has nice art that you can look at while you stroll. Here's some more pictures from the Great Wheel and of the Seattle waterfront that I took on my most recent trip with my mom there. Again, here's some art that you can see. There is also an aquarium at the waterfront, the Seattle Aquarium. It is 3 buildings. I thought it was okay. It wasn't my favorite aquarium. It is part of the City Pass, so if you're going to do the City Pass to save some money, I would say you could go and spend an hour or two looking at it. There are a lot of activities for children and young children. So if you have a young child, it might be a good activity. As an adult, there was some stuff to look at. I think I was disappointed because I'm used to the Monterey Aquarium, which is a great aquarium if you guys haven't been to it. But it is a good thing you can do in Seattle. Number 13 is Flagstick Pub. This one is one you might not know about. It is in the older area of Capitol Hill in Seattle, and you can go down in a basement and play mini golf and play this flagstick game that they created that's kind of like shuffleboard. It's really fun, affordable. They have food and drinks that you can enjoy while you're there. If you're with a group, they accommodate large groups. So, fun thing to do that you might not have known existed. Number 12, Bainbridge Island. So you can take the ferry for very affordable from Seattle waterfront area to Bainbridge Island. Walk around, shop. They also have the Bainbridge Museum, which is this picture on the left. That is completely free to explore and has a lot of great information. Like Bainbridge was where pickleball was invented a long time ago. And I don't know why it's just recently become a big deal, but yeah, Bainbridge is where that was invented. So if you're a pickleball player, go learn about that. Lots of interesting things about what happened with the Japanese during internment and blended communities in the Seattle and Bainbridge Island. Very interesting museum. They also have the Bainbridge Art Museum, which is also free for people to attend. So lots of cool things to do on Bainbridge Island if you want to kind of slow down and have a more relaxed day or half of a day while you're in Seattle. Number 11, the Can Seattle. This is a dinner show in Pike Place Market. Um, it is a can and has burlesque elements, so it is adult only. And if you're not into that type of thing, you might not want to go. But it is a really fun, entertaining show, very lively. They change the show all the time to keep it fresh. Food and drinks were okay, but the main draw of this place is the entertainment. So, but yeah, if you don't like nudity or kind of colorful jokes, I would avoid this, but it is fun if you don't mind those things. Number 10 is Pike Place Market, and I think everybody knows this. This is an essential. It's on every list for Seattle, and that's for a reason. It's got something for everyone. If you're a foodie, if you like drinks, if you like crafts, if you like unique stores, this is all at the market. So many things to do and explore in the market, but be aware that there are a lot of steps. There are elevators you can find, but they're hard to find. There's a lot of steps, a lot of ramps. You're going to be going up and down a lot if you go to Pike Place Market. You can watch them throw the fish. There's all those things you can do there. This is the gum wall, which is there, which totally disgusted my mom, which is funny. You can buy gum in the alley to put on the gum wall if you want to be part of this experience. We had clam chowder there at Pike Pike Place Chowder. And you can get a sampler. You can get an 8 sampler or a 4 sampler. The 4 sampler was perfect for the two of us to share. You get to choose 4 types, and then they give you bread and oyster crackers to try with it. My favorite was the original, the market one that day, which is the rotating one, was also really yummy. And we had the vegan Thai coconut one, which was interesting. And then we had the Boston style, which was actually my least favorite. You can get an 8 sampler, but I would not get that as a single person unless you're okay with wasting a lot of food. Because even though they're samplers, they're hearty, so it's a lot of food. There's pigs. These are piggy banks in the Place Market, and you can find them. They have different names, and you can donate money for the charities that they're collecting money for. They're kind of fun and cute to find. The yellow one is in the garden, and that is a community garden hidden somewhere inside Pike Place Market. So make sure you try to find that out if you are interested. Number 9 is Smith Tower. This is a really cool historic tower that you can go to the top of. In the ground floor and second floor, they have a museum that talks about the tower's history and who lived in it. And it's fun. And then you can take a really old, original historic elevator to the top, and they have an elevator attendant that operates the elevator. And at the top, there's a bar with like appetizers. We were not able to go to the bar because of a private event that was occurring. So be aware that that might happen. Next, number 8, which I slipped you a little preview of real quick a second ago, is the Fremont Troll. This is also a very common one to be on people's lists. It's very cool. You can see he has a slug bug in his hand. You see my mom next to him for size scale. He's so big under the bridge. If you are using public transit like we are, I would try to find a few other things in the Fremont area that interest you, because it will not take you very long to see the Fremont Troll. And then it might not be worth the time to get out there. There's a little garden with some other art like turtles, and there's a troll trail, and a few things to see. But you probably spend 15 minutes here max. But it is really cool to see. Next is number 7, the Underground Tour. There's 2 main tours groups running these. We took the Bill Spediel's world famous Underground Tour. There's also Beneath the Streets. Their offices and starting points are right next to each other. They have pretty equivalent reviews. Ours was supposed to be family friendly. Just a warning, but our tour guide cursed a lot and dropped a lot of F-bombs. So if you are going with children, I'm not sure. Cool information, though, about Seattle's origins, how Seattle worked when it was first built, how it had to be rebuilt, and just some really neat information. If you haven't done this underground tour, I can only highly recommend it. Our tour guide, again, was a little over the top, but I took it one other time when I went with my husband and the guide wasn't, so it might just be hit miss on who you get. All right, so number 6, the National Nordic Museum and Frankie Feetsplinter. So this is one of the Dumbo trolls. You can see we took public transit to get here. He's really cool. And then don't just stop and see him. Go inside the National Nordic Museum. It's really affordable, very interesting information on the Nordic populations and what countries are considered Nordic and their history, and then immigration to the U.S. Very well put together museum. Take you about an hour to see everything in there, I would say. Number 5, Chinatown and the Seattle Pinball Museum. So, Seattle has a great Chinatown. You can go and see the gate to entry. There's a really good bakery right nearby there, Fiji Bakery. I highly recommend you try some Japanese pastries. They are so good. Less sweet than American pastries, but a lot of different options and varieties that you wouldn't normally see. Then the Seattle Pinball Museum is also in Chinatown, which is a very fun choice because you pay a flat rate for the day, and then you get to play the pinball machines as much as you want. So if you're horrible at pinball like me, it's great money saver because you don't have to uh, pay $1 and then only pay for like 30 seconds before you lose. They also have a lot of really old pinball machines, and the pinball machines are arranged by oldest to newest. So um, then they'll explain when you pay, but it's really cool. You can start playing with, we did the older games and then move to the newer games. You can spend as much or as little time in here as you want, but it was so fun. Then also in Chinatown, I would highly recommend you go by the Kinokuniya Bookstore. Really fun, lots of cool products. And then I don't remember how to say the Asian grocery store, but is right next to the Kinokuniya. Lots of fun snacks and things you can buy for your travels. And they have a cool food court there too. Lots of great restaurants in Chinatown too, not just Chinese. They have Japanese, Korean, Thai, all sorts of different Asian foods in the Chinatown. Highly rated restaurants. Just a good thing to do for the day. Number 4 is the Space Needle. And of course, this is on everybody's list, but it's on everybody's list for a reason. It's just a fun experience. You'll go to the top. You'll have great views. Some people don't like the views as much because you can't see the Space Needle when you're on it, but it's fun. They have really delicious pies for a pretty affordable, like hand pies that you can buy. We got a berry one at the top, and that was delicious too. We were lucky that we went on a clear day and we could see so far. We could see Mount Rainier, which was beautiful in the distance. You can see how clear it was on the day we went. And then in the store of the Space Needle was built for the 1962 World Fair. And in the gift shop, they have the Mold-O-Matic from there. So you can see in the picture on the left, I got a little molded plastic Space Needle from the Mold-O-Matic. That is a historic machine that still freshly makes you a mold of the Space Needle. And Mold-O-Matics are more common on the East Coast and Midwest. I think this is one of the few that's on the West Coast. So if you're interested in that, check that out. The, you don't want to just go to the top viewing floor of the Space Needle. There's another floor below it that rotates, and it has a clear glass bottom so you can stand on it and it rotates, and you can see down, which is another cool experience. Number 3 is the Saddle Lock Cruise. So you can take a bay cruise by the same company, but the locks are neat because you get to start either at the waterfront and end up in the lake, or you start in the lake and end up at the waterfront. We started at the waterfront, and so you get kind of the tour of the Seattle waterfront, and then you enter the river and you go through the locks that help you go from ocean level to the lake level, and it is a neat experience. You can see us pulling into the locks here, and the back view from when we're in the locks. Then the locks close and water is pumped in. Some really cool engineering. The guy did a great job of explaining things along the course. And if you're a Sleepless in Seattle fan, when you get to the lake, you can see the houseboat that was used in Sleepless in Seattle and the scenes that were from there. Um, Number 2, Chihuly's Garden and Glass. So this is right next to the Space Needle. This is so great. It almost was my number 1. It is just so beautiful. I could have included thousands of pictures. I just think that glass blowing and the way they play with the light and the reflective surfaces is so beautiful. It takes about an hour to 2 hours, depending on how quickly you walk through, to see all the art. In the garden, they have a glass blowing demonstration where they talk about the process of glass blowing. So if you stay and watch that, it will take a little bit longer, more towards the 2 hours than the 1 hour. This is a tree outdoors. There's the beautiful glass room with this installation over here on the right. It's just so pretty. And I like this one on the left because I got a reflection of the Space Needle because they're right next to each other. Just a fun thing to do for the day. Alternatives, and I put this as an alternative because it's not truly in Seattle. It's about a half an hour by car, an hour by public transit north of Seattle, and you get on a boat and go whale watching. So we did this whale watching tour. You might see them out in the video. They're small. I don't know how to zoom it, but those are orcas. There are 4 types of whales you can see in the Puget Sound. We saw 3 of them on our whale watching tour. So we saw humpbacks, we saw um, gray whales, and we saw the orcas. And the orcas were really special in that they had 2 babies with them, one that was like a year old and one that was just brand new. So that was a very, very fun experience. So bonus, I wouldn't go out of my way for this, but if you're in the area, you can stop by the Amazon domes. You can tour the domes once a month, but you have to make a reservation. We weren't there on the right days, so I can't say anything about whether that tour is worth it. But Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, the community banana stand, you can stop by it and get a free banana or two. And then the days we were there, they had a demonstration on a drone that Amazon had developed and on their delivery vehicles. I'm not sure if those are there every day, but they were there the day I was there. Honorable mention, the Seattle monorail. So again, not something I would go out of my way for, but this was also part of the 1962 World's Fair, and you can catch it. It doesn't go very far, but it goes from like the downtown area of Seattle to the area with the Space Needle and the Chihuly Glass Museum. So if you're going to go to those two, and you can, I would take the monorail. It's a fun little trip. It goes through the M-Pop Museum, which is kind of cool. Not through the indoor, but the way the architecture is, you go through the kind of cool building, and that's a neat thing to see. Here's some more pictures of that. And then my number one is the Seattle Glass Blowing Studio. So off of Fifth Avenue, you can go to the Seattle Glass Blowing Studio and you can pay to make your own blown glass. They help you and they walk you through the whole process. My mom made this candy bowl on the left, and I made this glass on the right with the purple swirls. And they'll make sure it turns out great. They'll walk you through the steps. You get to do a lot of it yourself. It's just a really fun experience. It takes about an hour and a half, and then you can't pick up your stuff for 3 days. But if you're not able to come back and get your stuff, they will ship it to you. You can pay a little extra and they will ship your final products to you. So there's the front of the store. That's my list. Please comment if any of these surprised you, if you've tried any of these, if you have different opinions than me, if you want to try any of these. And again, reach out to me if you want help planning a trip because I love to do that. I hope you liked my first video, and I hope to post some other ones soon. Thank you.